Hello there, Darren Steen here from MercolaPeakFitness.com. Here today to talk to you about a question we get often, and that is, should I eat anything after dinner before bedtime to lose weight? 3 areas I want to talk about today to help you understand how to make better decisions for yourself in this area is there's a big difference between losing weight and losing fat. Number two is how small meals often helps you to prevent something called the starvation mechanism. And number three, I want to give you a couple of strategies so that you can have a better PM nutrition strategy. All right, let's go back to the first one, and that's the difference between losing weight and fat. Anybody can lose weight off the scale, but the key is to do it so that it feels good and it gives you energy back and it lasts a long time. You know, anybody can lose weight, like I said. Jared from Subway, he lost 100 pounds by eating steak hoagies and not exercising. There's a new Slim Fast diet. There's a new diet where a guy ate fast food burgers and he lost 50 pounds. But that doesn't mean that we're healthy. That doesn't mean that we're strong. Our initial instinct when we want to lose weight and we're really driven is to move a little bit and eat less food to lower our calories. So we'll eat a salad or two a day and we'll start power walking or we'll start jogging. Anybody can lose weight this way initially, but the key is, what are you losing? When you use this uninformed, uneducated approach to losing weight, you lose positive things that you need to be strong and to be vibrant. You lose muscle, you lose water, you get dehydrated, you lose your anabolic hormones, your growth hormone, your testosterone, and your body doesn't function properly. So we're talking about, and I'm assuming that most of you, since you're watching this video, are into moving and exercising somewhat. So in that instance, if you are trying to make better choices and you're trying to, on your food and you're trying to move, yes, you should eat something before your bedtime, about 3 hours after your dinner. It will help you to lose fat, okay? And we can start right here, and I'd like to tell you that if you would just make a different choice of words, that'll be a great start at you making better choices. A lot of people say diet. Don't use that word anymore. That word usually makes us feel not too good. It makes us feel like it's something that we have to go off of. We're talking about a nutrition strategy here that is easier, long-term, for the next 30, 40 years. You can maintain that. So let's talk, let's word it as a nutrition plan, a healthy lifestyle strategy. That just feels better when you say nutrition strategy or nutrition plan versus diet. So choose the right word, okay? Now, small meals often is very important. Protein and carbs combined together, spread throughout the day, 4, 5, or 6 small meals. What that does is that eliminates the starvation process from slowing down your body at burning its own calories. You see, thousands of years ago, tens of thousands of years ago, food was not bountiful. It was not everywhere. It was not on every street corner. So if 3 or 4 or 5 days went by and man or woman could not eat, they died. So the survival mechanism in the evolutionary process of man realized that as there was no food for 3 or 4 days, it would slow down the body's metabolism or how many calories it would burn. It would do this by losing fat or losing muscle. It would lose muscle because muscle demands energy to survive, so it could save more calories burning throughout the day if it would eat into and lose something anabolic like muscle. That's exactly what we don't want. So to eliminate the metabolism from slowing down and having the starvation mechanism kick in, what we need to do is we need to make sure our meals are smaller. Eating meals smaller in and of itself helps your body burn more calories. It makes you hungrier 3 or 4 hours later. There's no way you can be hungry 3 or 4 hours later if you eat a huge meal with tons of calories, tons of processed carbs. It's just not possible. So the key is, the reason why eating something after dinner before bedtime is so important. If you don't, and you have a typical schedule, and you eat dinner, a regular dinner like you've been eating at 6:30, and you're one of the few that even eats a quality breakfast around 8 the next morning, you're talking about 13 or 14 hours between your dinner and your next meal that has some quality protein in it the next day. But most people don't even eat breakfast the next day. They eat a quick bagel, maybe a cup of coffee because they're in a hurry, and they don't eat until lunch that's got a decent quality protein in it. So if that's the case, you're talking about 18, 19, or 20 hours between the 6:30 dinner and the lunch the next day. That is entirely too many hours between meals, and the body senses a starvation's coming, and it slows the metabolism down. So what we want to do is we want a strategy for your last half of the day on nutrition that will really help keep the muscle that you have. if not even gain extra muscle if you're doing a little bit of resistance training and a little bit of interval anaerobic cardio. And that is eat less than you typically eat at dinner time. Let's try to keep the protein high quality, unprocessed. Let's eat a nice quality vegetable green bean salad type of carbohydrate. And then let's keep the starchy carbs to a minimum, okay? Maybe just a light little brown rice, maybe a little bit of pasta. If you can keep it down to 0 starchy carbs, that'd be fantastic. Chew slower. That's a great strategy to control your portion size at your dinner time. Enjoy your family, the people that you're with. Drink a little bit more water at the beginning of the meal before than you normally do. Eat a nice salad before you eat your meal. That will help you feel like a little bit of satiated feeling in your tummy. And then a couple of techniques that I use that my clients say works very well for them is after dinner I have a little bit of a ritual. I take a Corella tablet or a multivitamin and I drink some water after I'm done eating, and then I'll chew a piece of gum. If you want to make a really good choice on your gum, pick one that's sweetened with a healthy sweetener like stevia, something like that. And that ritual of taking my multivitamin and chewing on that gum helps me say that I'm done eating food and I'm not going to eat the sweets when they come out, when the kids bring the sweets out. So if the sweets are there and I'm tempted, it's a lot better chance that I'm going to abstain from eating those sweets since I started my ritual. So that's a technique that could work very well for you. Try to end dinner in a timely fashion, and as a family, clean up the table, put the dishes away, and get out of the kitchen. Don't go in the living room and turn on the TV, especially if it's nice out like it is right now. Walk, play catch with the kids, move, at least get outdoors and get out of that kitchen environment and that sedentary environment in front of the TV. And what I want you to do is I want you to save a little bit of the protein that you ate for dinner on the side. If you know this ahead of time, you can cook the food in bulk on the grill. It's relatively easy to do so that you have some extra protein left over. Put just a little small serving size on a plate and put on saran wrap over the top of it, put it to the side. And then once you get out of the kitchen and you go outside and you move a little bit, you're going to be a little bit hungrier because you ate less calories than you normally did at your dinner time. Right before bed, 3.5 hours before your dinner, 3.5 to 4 hours after your dinner at 6:30. If you have a typical schedule and you're going to bed around 10 or 10:30, 9 to 9:30, eat that small source of whole food protein. So what that does is, then if you eat breakfast the next morning at 8, it only is about 10 to 10.5 hours between meals where you have amino acids and protein in. The body says, a starvation is not coming, that next meal is coming on a very timely fashion, so I don't have to slow down my metabolism. It's a great strategy for you to do a better job at losing fat and not just losing weight in the PM on your nutrition strategy. So there you go. There's some 3 or 4 very important ideas that you need to consider when you want to really get the body and the lifestyle that you want. For right now, really try to implement 1 or 2 of those. They're very easy to implement, and make sure that you eat smaller meals more often, slow down your chewing, and if you do, you'll start to notice a difference in a matter of 2 or 3 days, that not just losing scale weight, but you will actually have the clothes fitting better. The scale may stay the same when you lose body fat, especially when you're eating properly and you're gaining muscle. So don't focus on the scale, focus on how you're feeling. I guarantee you that if you're eating smaller meals more often throughout the day, you're going to feel better and you're going to have some habits that you can do long term. There you go. There's our nutritional strategies, and there's the answer to your question, should I eat anything after dinner time? There you go. You do have the power to change, so now go make it happen.